Hits a drive down the line. It's tied. Judge has arrived. There it is. The Toronto Blue Jays have punched their ticket to the championship series.
We might have just witnessed one of the best ALDS series of all time. Aaron Judge finally had his postseason moment. Vladimir Guerrero solidified himself as a Toronto legend, and the New York Yankees might be entering the worst era of their franchise yet. Only time will tell who the Blue Jays face in the ALCS, as the Tigers and Mariners series is gonna go to Game 5. But before we get to that, what is next for the Yankees, and how did the Yankees lose this series? Game 1 of the ALDS was the perfect allegory for the next 3 games. The Jays put up 1 run in the first inning, which might not seem like a lot, but it matched the amount of runs the Yankees scored all game. After that, Luis Gil would go on to give up 2 runs in under 3 innings, solidifying the game for Toronto. The game was basically over before the 3rd inning, if we're being honest, and the Yankees bats were just cold. Kevin Gausman and the Jays bullpen were dominant, and the Blue Jays went up 1-0 instantly after blowing out the Yankees 10-1. Toronto's pitching was dominant in game 1, but game 2 was a different story. The Blue Jays blew out the Yankees in game 2 again, but behind a Vladdy Guerrero grand slam, which put Toronto up 9-0. I mean, 100.
Oh, baby! Goodbye!
The Yankees pitching could not catch a break in this game. It didn't matter who you put in. Luke Weaver couldn't get an ERA adjusted because he could not get an out. It was horrible. But the real story of the game was rookie Trey Savage, who struck out 11 Yankees in just 5 1/3 innings. Keep in mind, Savage wasn't pulled because he was struggling. The kid had a no-hitter at the time he was pulled of the game, and he was only pulled because the Yankees were getting blown out so badly that the Jays just wanted to save his arm. Now, game 3 back in New York was insane. It did start off how the series had went with Vladdy going deep
On this 2-0. He's done it again!
and Carlos Rodon getting hit around because he could not get out of the first inning, and it just seemed like the Blue Jays were going to sweep the Yankees. But then the Yankees finally showed up and cracked some hits together, a couple of defensive miscues. Aaron Judge shows up, hits a bomb off the pole, ties the game.
Pitch. Hits a drive. If it's fair, it's his moment. It is!
Chisholm hits the most incredible go-ahead home run that I've seen in Yankee Stadium.
There's a drive to deep right field. New York leads.
It was electric. The crowd was amazing. The hope was back. Yankees fans everywhere thought we were back in it. Then game 4 came along, and the Blue Jays went with a bullpen game and allowed just 6 hits the entire game. The Yankees disappeared. If it wasn't for a rare Ryan McMahon lefty on lefty homer, the Yanks would have been shut out.
Expected. Ryan McMahon has tied game 4.
Now, the Blue Jays pitching staff was absolutely dominant this series, and honestly, it feels like game 3 was more of a fluke than a reason to be worried for Jays fans. Starting pitching was absolutely terrible for the Yanks this series. Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, Luis Gil couldn't go that deep in their starts. Cam Schlittler went the furthest, going over 6 innings deep, but when your offense can't score any runs, that doesn't matter. Like, I do believe Schlittler had a good game, but at the end of the day, if there's no run support, it doesn't matter. Also, what happened to Giancarlo Stanton? Last postseason, the guy was the New York savior. This year, I don't know where he went. Going into the postseason, he was on fire with an OPS over 900, and historically, Stanton is known for his postseason performances. But all he did this year was a double against Boston and got on base a couple times, but that's basically it. Now, we do have to look at Aaron Judge. Going into the postseason, everyone always says Aaron Judge puts up MVP numbers all season long. Come playoff time, where's the Judge? Where is he at? This year, he did show up. He really did. But unfortunately for the Yankees, nobody else did. It's crazy how every other year Aaron Judge seems to be non-existent in the playoffs, and everyone else has to kind of come together to try to scrap our way through the playoffs. And this year, Aaron Judge is on fire and nobody else can get on base. Now, I know the stats will show a complicated scoreline, like his average isn't the greatest in the postseason, and on paper, his OPS isn't that great, but it was the best of the team. But regardless of all of that, that's not the issue the Yankees had this year. The issue is the Yankees' mediocre, and that's putting it lightly, bullpen. Guys, everybody knows this. The Yankees bullpen is a nightmare. So listen, I get it. It's easy to blame Aaron Judge, the offense, the defense, the pitching. But this year, guys, the Yankees as a whole collapsed. It wasn't just one side. Aaron Judge played well, fine, but the offense supporting him wasn't really there consistently. The bullpen was horrible. If it wasn't for Cam Schlittler saving the day in the Boston series, I don't even know if he would have made it this far. The Yankees were a broken team coming into the series. We have so much good on paper, but there's so much more that is wrong with this team that I just don't know how you fix it. But anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about the ALCS because the Toronto Blue Jays are moving on. And so now the Blue Jays are here waiting for the winner of the Mariners and Tigers series to see who they're going to play next. And this could be a great series either way. Let's look at the Tigers first because in my opinion, I think they're going to win Game 5 behind a big Tarek Skubal pitching performance, and I think the Detroit Tigers are a great team. But regardless if Detroit ends up winning or Seattle wins, it's going to be a great series against Blue Jays. But with Toronto, I think the Tigers with Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, and Zach McKinstry seem to have a knack for the big hit. Plus, the starting pitching is pretty solid. If they can get deep into games, Detroit usually wins. But in my opinion, the Blue Jays have a better bullpen and offensive team, and Bo Bichette coming back definitely takes them over the edge. Now, Tarek Skubal is obviously going to be a hassle if they do make it past through, if they beat the Mariners. But we'll see, because if he's playing in Game 5 against the Mariners, he can't start with good pitches on short rest in Game 1. So that'll be an interesting strategy decision that the Tigers are going to have to deal with into the postseason. But regardless of Skubal, if the Tigers have any chance of beating the Blue Jays, they're going to need this offense to wake up and perform like they did in Game 4. If they can do that, then they can make some noise against the Blue Jays. As for the Mariners, well, that's an entirely different story. The Mariners might not have an ace like Tarek Skubal, but their entire starting rotation is full of guys who blank you on any given night. Plus, if we take out Game 4, the Mariners bullpen is one of the best in the postseason. If they can shake off that game and prove that it was a fluke and continue to dominate like that pitching staff has, they do have the offensive power. That team honestly is scary. Another big thing to keep in mind is the Mariners hold the home field advantage over the Blue Jays in the playoffs, so they would have to come to Seattle, and that's kind of a big deal, especially with how good of a pitching staff they have. They have a great offense. Toronto is going to be in trouble. If you look at it on paper, it's still a really great matchup. Both teams are World Series caliber. At the end of the day, it could just come down to incredible starting pitching, bullpen pitching, and then Cal Raleigh gets hot, Vladdy Guerrero gets hot. So that's an amazing series to watch. I'm really excited about it. And honestly, Cal Raleigh's on a mission. The big dumper has been dumping all season. He's dumped into the playoffs. This guy wants to bring it home in Seattle. I want to see him bring it home to Seattle. It would be an amazing story for a catcher to lead his team to the World Series. So this is going to be an amazing ALDS if the Mariners do make it. If the Tigers make it as well, it's still going to be an amazing series. But what do you guys think? Who do you have winning the Game 5? Who do you have winning the ALDS in general? And who do you blame for the Yankees not making it past the Blue Jays? And what can we do differently to make sure that we improve and we are better next year?